Now to the Philippines, where the official death toll from last week's super typhoon is approaching 4,000. 1,100 people are listed as missing. The United Nations estimates as many as 2 million people are homeless, but food, water, and medical supplies are starting to make their way to the many in need. Seth Doane reports from the disaster zone.
Good morning. With each passing day here, we start to see more evidence of progress on the ground here in Tacloban. Streets are being cleared, bodies are being buried, and food distributed. U.S. Navy helicopters are flying relief missions off of the aircraft carrier USS George Washington, ferrying those relief supplies into remote, hard-hit areas where people are very much still fending for themselves. Daily routines resume amid the rubble as people try to grasp a new reality.
If this a dream, I should wake up.
It seems like a nightmare.
Yes.
Corazon Mabahin lives on the outskirts of a place called Paulo Leyte, just a few miles from Tacloban. Where's your house?
There is the left
was your house over here?
Yes.
Now it's just a pile of bamboo. All that's left, a crib, some clothes, and a handful of spoons after the typhoon tore through.
We have to go to die on that day.
You thought you were going to die?
Yes.
As the typhoon picked up, Corazon got a text message from an American who encouraged her to flee to a community center she'd built next door. Elsa Tomsma is that 24-year-old American. She grew up in Michigan, but fell in love with the Philippines. She moved here this year to work and give back to this community often ravaged by floods and the 20 typhoons a year that hit this place.
They need an evacuation center before they use the school, which is like almost a mile away. And I mean, imagine swimming 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, babies all the way to that center in rushing floodwaters. And so I just thought an evacuation center right amongst all the houses would just be the perfect solution.
So with the help from her church back home in Sturgis, Michigan, she raised the money to build a community center that doubled as an evacuation point. Why did you decide to build this high?
Well, the highest flood was 3.1 meters. So we wanted to make it taller than that.
Haiyan's winds destroyed homes in this neighborhood of 300 people, but there was not a single death here. Many took refuge at the center.
They created their own safe haven and their place to stay in the storm. All I did was help facilitate it.
Well, you made it happen, right?
Yeah, but still, I can't take credit for it. I mean, it's just really overwhelming to think what would have happened to them if they didn't have it.
When Elsa was raising money to build her center along with her parents' church, they called it the Ark Project, a nod to Noah's refuge. For CBS This Morning Saturday, Seth Doane, Tacloban, the Philippines.